Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel once again. So in case you've been finding it hard to draft a basic dress, this is a tutorial for you. So these are the things that we are going to be using for our tutorial. That is the pattern paper, marker, tape measure, straight ruler, curved ruler, and our pair of scissors. So we are going to start by drawing a straight line at the top. Yeah, we're going to start by drawing a straight line at the top, and this is going to act as our starting point. So after that, what we are going to do, we are going to first measure our neck width. We use 3 inches for the neck width. After measuring the 3 inches, went down, measured 3 inches, and then connected the 2 points together. So our neck is 3 by 3. After carving the neck, I'm going to go ahead and take our shoulder measurements. Our shoulder was 14, so I divided it by 4, and that is 7. So that is me indicating the 7 inches. On that same point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch and then connect it to the neck. This 1 inch is helping us on the shoulder line, since our shoulders are not always straight. So that's why we always come down by 1 inch. Starting from the 1 inch, I'm going to measure my armhole width. Yeah, I'm going to measure my armhole width, and on my armhole width, I went ahead and measured our bust measurements and drew a straight line. So that armhole width is what we are going to be using for the chest line. I went ahead and measured the same on the other side so that I can make a straight line for the chest line, as you see me doing. Yeah, so after extending it, I'm going to go ahead and measure our midpoint of the armhole, and on that midpoint I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch, and then we use our curved ruler to bring out our shape. We are going to connect the 3 points together, starting from the shoulder slope down to the 1/2 inches, then to the chest line. So our armhole is done. Starting from our starting line, I'm going to come down and indicate my shoulder to bust measurement, shoulder to waist measurement. Mine was 17, and then we are going to indicate our shoulder to hips. My shoulder to bust was 10 inches and shoulder to hips was 27, so I went ahead and also indicated my full length, as you see me doing, and the remaining 1 inch is going to act as our folding allowance. Whatever I measured there is what I'm going to be measuring on this side, so that I can connect the points to make a straight line, as you see me doing. Yeah, so it's time for connecting the points. That is our bust line, the waist line. Connect the 2 points to make a straight line, and then the hip line. Remember, our shoulder to waist of the front part is not always the same with the shoulder to waist of the back part. Yeah, so always note that. That mistake always leads us to getting a zipper bag at the back. So you always have to measure your shoulder to waist of the front separate from that of the back. So starting from my folded edge, I measured my nipple to nipple measurements, and mine was 4 inches. Connected the points together, and that is where we are going to be measuring our dart from. Yeah, how to achieve the nipple to nipple? You're going to put a tape measure at your nipple of one breast to the other. Yes, that's how we get our nipple to nipple. So I did the same to almost down, and then connected the points together. After that, what I'm going to do is label my lines: bust line, chest line, bust line, waist line, hip line, and then our full length line. I think you can clearly see what I'm doing in the video. So after that, I'm going to start taking my body measurements, like indicating my body measurements. Yeah, that is me writing my bust measurement. So for the waist measurement, I divided 28 divided by 4. Then I added 1 inch for the dart, and then 1.5 for the joining allowance or seam allowance. And my hips were 36, so I divided 36 divided by 4 and also added my 1.5. After that, when we reach the downer part, in case you're making a straight line, a straight dress, the exact measurements you get at the hip line are the same measurements that you're going to measure at your full length. Yeah, but for me, I wanted a pencil dress, so I subtracted 1.5 from the measurements I had at my hip line so that I can get that shape. I didn't want my dress to be straight. I think you can clearly see what I'm doing. I went ahead and connected all the points together. But remember to always shape your points, because I don't think there is anyone who has a sharp body, of course. So after using my straight line, I'm going to get my curved ruler and go ahead and blend them to avoid those sharp edges. Yeah. Kindly don't forget to like, share, and comment. And also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So I'm going to measure 1/2 of an inch on both sides at the waist point. We are going to go to our nipple to nipple line, come down by 1 inch at the bust point, and then connect that point to the 1/2 inch that we measured on both sides of at our waistline. Yes. And after that, I went ahead and went up by 2 inches from my waistline, and then connected the points together still to get our dart. Yes, so don't forget that I went up by 2 inches from the hip line. What I'm going to do, I'm still going to go out by 1 inch at the bust line. This is our bust dart. So the difference between my front waistline and the back waistline is 1 inch. That's why I measured 1 inch for that dart. Yeah, when I measure my front bust line, I get 17, and when I measure the back, I get 16. So whichever distance you have between your front and back waistline is what it's what we will use for the bust dart. Okay, hope you get me clearly. So mine front is 17, back is 16. So if we get 17 and subtract it from the 16, we get 1 inch. That's what we had to measure for the bust. That is me cutting my front pattern. My front pattern is done. Yes, look clearly and see how I'm trying to cut it out. Okay, I did this because I didn't want us to get shortage at that point. As you can see, the line is not connecting. That's why I had to first cut through the dots. Yes. So after the front part, we are going to go to the back part, and you will see the difference. Yeah, because they are not always cut the same way. And after watching this video, I'm sure you will be able to draft a perfect basic bodice dress. Yeah, as we are going to do the back part, don't forget to subscribe, guys. So now back part, what I did is to first measure 2 inches from the side, and this is going to be our zipper allowance. Yeah, in my next video I think I'll show you, just in case you've cut a dress and forgotten to put a zipper allowance, but you really need to put a zipper. Yeah, I'm going to be showing you how you overcome that. After measuring my 2 inches, I went ahead and connected all the points together. Yes, and whichever measurements we are to take, we'll be starting from the 2 inches zipper allowance. Yes, don't make a mistake of starting from the edge. Always start your measurements, your horizontal measurements, from the zipper allowance. So I did the same thing I did for the front, drew a straight line where I'll be starting to measure my vertical measurements. I measured the 3 inches of the neck and the depth. The width I made 3 inches, and for the depth I came down by 1.5 for the back, and also measured our shoulder measurements, came down by 1 as I told you, and connected it to the neck. Yes, and after that we are going to the next step, and that is measuring our armhole width. I started from the shoulder slope, indicated my armhole width, did the same to the other side so that we can get a straight line. Yes, almost the same process, though there is something you will need to understand as we go forward. So all you need is to watch the video to the end and see where you have been going wrong. Yes, so that is me measuring shoulder to waist, did the same to this side and connected the points. There is a trick that you're going to see in this video. Yes, I'm sure some of you have been wondering why you get a problem while sewing. There is something you have been doing wrong that you are going to learn today. So when you see me, I was measuring my shoulder to hips, which was 24 inches. Okay, but when I went ahead and measured it, starting from the hips to that point that I measured, I found out that it was longer, and when I measured the front, it was shorter. So when we reach at the hip point, what we are going to do, we are going to bring in our front part, measure starting from the waist to the hips, and whatever we get is what we will measure for the back hip line. Okay, hope you understand me. You see, for example, if you measure from your waist to the hips of the front part and you get 9 inches, go ahead to the back part and do the same. After that, I measured from my hip line to the full length of my front part. What did I get? Whatever I got is what I measured on the back part. So for the back part, we are not going to measure from shoulder to hips or shoulder to full length, okay? Yeah, we will only use the chest and shoulder to bust. But for the downer, we are going to first measure the front. Yes, so after that, I am going to measure my shoulder measurements still the way I did for the front, and drew a straight line. I measured and got the midpoint, and starting from the midpoint, I went in by ½ inch, broke my curved ruler, and then connected the 3 points together to achieve our armhole. Yeah, so after that, I'm going to measure my nipple to nipple. I think it's the next step. Oh no, I first indicated my bust measurements plus the 1½ sewing allowance. Went ahead and measured our waist measurement, added the 1 inch for the dart, and then 1½ for the sewing allowance. Yes, so went to the hips, indicated my measurements still, plus the 1 inch and a half sewing allowance. Yeah, my hips were 36, so when you divide it by 4, you get 9, plus 1½ measured whatever is at the hips, went down and subtracted 1½ and indicated it. After that, what you are going to do is to connect the points together as you see me doing. Yes, connect the points together using a straight line, and then after we will be blending them with the curved ruler. Okay, we are almost done with our back part. Yes, so this is me blending to avoid sharp edges. So I extended my neck depth line to the zipper allowance, and what we are about to do is to measure our nipple to nipple measurements, because we are going to do our dart. I measured it all through and then connected the points to make a straight line. Yep. But for our back dart, the dart will start exactly at the chest point, because we don't have a breast or a bigger bust at the back. Remember, on the front part, we came down by 1 inch from the bust point, and here we are starting exactly from the chest line. So I measured my ½ inch on both sides of the waist, and then I connected them to the chest line as you see me doing. Came to the hip line, I measured 2 inches going up, and then connected the dart. Yep. We are almost done with our drafting process. I think I'll do a video of how to sew it, okay? So that was me extending my line. So at the waistline, what I'm going to do is to subtract ½ inch, or to go in by ½ inch. This also helps in getting rid of the zipper bulge. So I connected it to the line, to the zipper allowance line. Yeah, this is helping us to achieve our neat zipper without having folds. Did the same at the edge so that we don't forget. Yep. Measure ½ inch inwards and connect it to the edge. Many of you always ignore this, and you find that after making your dress, the zip is not looking neat at all. Yeah, so this is the trick. Subtract ½ inch at the waistline and then connect back the points to the main line. So I almost cutting our bodies. So after connecting them, we are going to go ahead and cut following the lines. We are almost done. Let me hope this tutorial has been helpful, because I'm sure it is beginner friendly, and after watching it you will be able to draft your own straight dress or pencil dress. Okay, yeah, almost. This is a 2-in-1 tutorial, both straight and pencil dress. So this was me cutting my pattern. And after we are done with cutting these, you can go ahead and place them onto the fabric and cut it. Since we already indicated our allowances, you won't need to add sewing allowance because it's already there on our pattern. So the line you see me cutting, do you remember the ½ inch that we subtracted? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm cutting off, so that I don't forget to bring out our shape. We are done. So guys, this is my back part. Yup. And this is my front part. Hope you can see that my horizontal lines are aligning. Let me hope this video has been helpful to you guys. So I'm trying to align these pieces so that you can see. After sewing my dart, you will find that the pieces, the front and back, are really matching. Bye bye, thanks for watching.